Welcome to Beyond the Money with Jackie Campbell. Jackie is a certified financial planner, CPA, personal financial specialist, and founding partner of Campbell Company Wealth Advisors and CPAs. Now, because there's more to life than just finances, let's go Beyond the Money.
We invite you to reach out at any time this weekend. That number is 352-251-1015. Always available online at mycampbellandco.com. Jackie Campbell, it is fascinating. It is almost scary to think that we are in the back half of 2026. I feel like this year got started 10 minutes ago.
I can't believe it. Every single year, every single month goes by faster than the one before, Mark, and almost August. And yeah, it's time to, kind of get ready for the rest of the year and just keep planning, keep leaning into it. I mean, change is happening so fast these days. It's unbelievable. I just keep having the same conversation about how hot it is, and it's the hottest year I've ever had here in Florida. And maybe I'm just getting older and not tolerant as I used to be. But anyway, it's
the heat's more annoying now.
It absolutely is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was thinking about the meme, it's like, am I getting to be one of those people that I talk about how we need the rain and how the weather's so hot. So anyway.
Is dry out there today. Could really use one of them afternoon showers. And what's up with these kids and their rock and roll music? I tell you what.
It goes around in a circle for sure.
So with that being said, I thought we'd had a good opportunity to have a great conversation this weekend. And we've talked about it before, the end of the year review, the beginning of the year review. But I think now more than ever is a great time to take advantage of that, second half of the year review of your retirement portfolio. And these are the aspects and the elements that you may not be thinking of, but to get ahead of it, because there are some things that we'll get to that once we get to November and December, it's too late to make changes. So as we kind of look at that checklist of what we need to take advantage of right now, Jackie, where's the best place to start?
It all starts with the why. What are you trying to accomplish? Where are you trying to go? And I'm thinking that just looking at your goals, are the goals that I thought I had 20 years ago still the goals that I want for this year, and what's next in my life? I mean, I don't know about you, Mark, but, life does not happen the way that you kind of rehearsed it in your mind or planned for it. And some of us are definitely more avid planners than others with numbers and, ideas and concepts and, written goals and things like that. But, life normally does not map out or roll out like you think. So being ready to pivot when life changes and things that are affecting your income, your plan to retirement, your what's next. So I think mid-year is a really great time to kind of reassess, hey, am I still on track for the year I thought I was going to have? And if not, what adjustments and changes do I need to make? And it's beyond the numbers. It's beyond the money. It's everything in your life. It's your purpose, your relationships, your money is absolutely part of it, your taxes, your cash flow, and your legacy. Things are changing. People getting married. A lot of people in our family, nieces having babies all at the same time. So It's a really interesting time in my life, and I would imagine every single person listening is having that same kind of impact this summer.
So you talk about creating that action plan for the next 6 months, but you also just mentioned how often do we have a plan, but it doesn't go the way we think. So what are the pros and cons of creating that action plan when we know the market's going to change? We know that tax law change. We've got midterms coming up now. There's so many things that could change. So why the importance of creating an action plan 6 months ahead when we don't know what's going to happen?
I can give you one perfect example. It was a conversation I recently had, and someone that I've known for several decades, and they had inherited some money from a relative. And it sort of changed their whole plan for the year. And, she said, I'll be honest with you, Jackie, I've been so turned upside down of, my family member being sick and my whole family and everybody as they get older aren't the same kids that get along when they're younger.
Right.
So you've got all these other things. You've got some legal issues because there had to be a probate. There's going to be tax implications, all the things that just kind of come out of left field and disrupt someone's plan for the year. Now, talk about a blessing. I mean, inheriting money is a huge blessing. I mean, that's tremendous, but it is overwhelming for most people on every single level, financially, physically, and emotionally. And she said, I asked her a couple of questions, and I said, well, you have one financial life, so these things are now coming into your one financial life. And she paused for a minute, and I thought, okay, did I lose her? Did I lose her call? And she said, I'll be honest with you, Jackie. I've been so overwhelmed by all of this, I haven't even opened my mail. I haven't opened any of the letters about the inherited accounts, the Roth IRA, the IRA, because I just had to pause for a minute. And that was just a great reminder that the life that we think is going to unfold when it's the very first of the year, it's going to change, and being ready to pivot and being able to adapt to whatever's going to come your way. And sometimes you have to raise your hand. And so now she's, giving me the mail that she wasn't open and was nervous about opening. And it wasn't that she's not understanding it. It wasn't that it's beyond her skill set or anything. It's just, so many things coming all at once. So that's just a good reminder that no matter what your plans are, things are going to change that you can't control. Maybe you're going to have a family member get sick or pass away, or maybe it's you that's going to be sick. So that's why I'm a big, big advocate that prior planning pays. And you're right. You talked about the market. I mean, the market, it's starting to get a little wobbly, as they say. But looking at your investment portfolio performance, comparing it against the benchmarks, how have you performed? How much do you have that is overweighted in one sector, like technology, for example? That's what's been really pulling the market the past couple of years. Great markets, but what's going to come next? If you look at all those charts, whether it's on the TV screen or online, and you're looking at the charts of those indexes like the S&P 500, it doesn't really matter what's happened in the history, and most all of the trend lines are going to be the same. When the markets dropped in 2020, they all dropped, every index, all investments just about. And same thing in 2022, same thing recently in April. It's just going to be upping and downing, or ebbing and flowing, however you want to call it. But what's going to come next? And now is the best time, while you don't have chaos going on, while you have your physical abilities and the ability, and it's hot outside anyway. What else are you going to do if you're not on a boat? So take this time and really look at your plan and just evaluate it. No one else is evaluating your one financial life. And if you don't have a professional that's kind of walking alongside you, guiding you through all these changes that are going to happen, it's up to you to kind of pull all that professional advice together. And if you don't have professionals that you're working with and you're doing it all yourself, there's definitely going to be some blind spots. So this summer is a really, really great time to do that mid-year assessment and planning. Prior planning pays. Couldn't be a better time for it, Mark, especially with the market just kind of roaring like it has been.
Yeah. And now is not the time to get complacent and be like, well, the market's doing great, I'm just going to sit back and watch it. As Jackie just mentioned, already starting to see a little volatility, geopolitical. So have a plan to help preserve your assets and continue to build income through retirement with an action plan from Jackie Campbell. She calls it the 360-degree retirement roadmap. And if you've saved at least $500,000 or more for your financial future across all aspects of your retirement portfolio, that initial consultation, that personalized 360-degree retirement roadmap is no cost, no obligation. That number, 352-251-1015. We have a representative standing by right now. Again, 352-251-1015. All right, another aspect of conversation piece you're going to have is about that asset allocation and always rebalancing your portfolio. What does that mean?
Well, kind of like the barbecue, right? Scott makes some great hot dogs. If anybody wants the recipe, it's called a swamp dog. The best hot dogs I've had in my entire life. I have to share that with you, Mark. I'm telling you, twice he's made it. It's amazing. I got it off of TikTok, so can't be a bad recipe, right? But when you're having a cookout or you have hot dogs and you put condiments on there,
okay,
you're going to typically have some ketchup, some mustard, some mayonnaise, maybe some relish, some onions, some whatever you may like to go on your hot dog. Having ketchup and another brand of ketchup and another kind of ketchup, maybe a hot ketchup, that is what we call too much ketchup. That's exactly what we're looking at in portfolios now. Too much ketchup. We don't want to have too much of the same stock. That's an overweight. of a stock. Some stocks are like grandma and apple pie. Somebody worked there, you worked there, your husband worked there, grandma worked there. There's going to be an attachment, emotional attachment to a particular stock company. So having an overweight in any one company or even a sector like technology, everything does not grow proportionately. So that's what we look at when we talk about asset allocation and making sure that you're doing some rebalancing. So if you're not taking like a non-emotional rebalancing to it, it's definitely time to evaluate that. We do these reports and it comes out with multiple colorful pages, and we are looking for very specific things in those reports when we do that comparison. So if you haven't evaluated your own portfolio, or if you've got an investment account over here, a couple retirement accounts over here, a couple 401k left behind accounts over with the employers that you no longer work with, who's coordinating those? Who's actually looking at all the investments to make sure that you don't have too much catch up or too much of one particular category, sector, or stock in your assets? And how much risk are you really taking? Because if you're not rebalancing things and they're not being coordinated as one part of your financial life, then you're probably long overdue for that. And if that's you and you say, oh gosh, I've not done that and I don't even know where to begin, give us a call. Would love the opportunity to talk with you, see if you've got too much catch up or too much stock intersection, is the professional term, in your portfolio. 352-251-1015 or online at mycampbellandco.com.
We're going to talk about a dirty word here in just a couple of seconds, but the Swamp Dog, a popular viral recipe of scored hot dogs marinated in a zesty blend that's smothered and cooked in onions. That's from the Google right there. Is that similar to what Scott makes?
That is it. It comes with Italian dressing. You let them marinate overnight, and it's Italian dressing and depending on how you say it, Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, Worcester. I've heard it called all kinds of things.
So is it fair, if we won't tell Scott until a couple of days out, the next big Campbell Company client event, can we have him make some swamp dogs for us?
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it is the best hot dog I've ever had in my life.
All right. Well, guess what, Scott? Sorry, buddy. You just got voluntold. You're cooking for us on our next big event. So
next time you come down, I'll make sure he makes some for you, Mark, and we'll have some for your before or after golf. I'm not sure which.
Both. One before is a pregame, and then we'll have one as we make the turn, and then one to celebrate afterwards.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. MyCampbellandCo.com to meet Jackie Campbell, Scott, the entire team from Campbell & Company. You can also find locations of the multiple offices of Campbell & Company throughout the Nature Coast. Again, MyCampbellandCo.com. All right, it's a dirty word. People don't like to say this word, but it's such an important aspect as we're talking about a mid-year review. And that's talking about your cash flow, but also, Jackie, your budget. Because when I hear budget, I think I'm getting scolded. Are you on budget? What's your budget look like? I don't like that word, but it's an important aspect.
Oh, absolutely. It really is. And you're right. As soon as Scott says, maybe you need to cut back on spending. It's like that, takes me right back to childhood about, you can't do this.
Yep. Is it a want or is it a need?
Exactly. And it's being responsible, right? We all have wants. And if you've done a great job saving, by far, be able to give yourself the ability to spend. There's definitely a fine line there as we get older. We were taught by the best generations, that don't spend money. And so giving yourself permission is absolutely part of that struggle that many have that have done a phenomenal job saving for retirement and will never outlive their money. But having that cash flow and knowing what it is, because things just kind of creep up. Right. It's called a lifestyle creep. Things just go up naturally. And, it's your grocery bill. It's the gas. I mean, look at the prices of oil, right? That's part of all the issues that are going on with the war. It's definitely affecting just about everyone. Insurances, those one-time-a-year expenses that we have. I mean, I have clients that, say, oh, yeah, cash flow is great. I don't need any extra money. And then all of a sudden they get their bill, and their taxes are going up. So they kind of hit at the same time for most people. And, they're saying, hey, I might need a little extra distribution now just to kind of cover some of those spending creeps that we call them, things that you cannot control. And then those big trips, those big vacations, if you've got something big coming up or a major spend like a roof repair, air condition, new car coming up, somebody's getting married, somebody's graduating, those are big, maybe once in a while, or maybe once in a lifetime kind of expenditures. Plan for those. Let's plan for that. So budgeting can actually be very fun if you look at it for the fun things in life, not just those dreaded things, and looking at how to pinch your pennies and cut some costs.
I love that term, the lifestyle creep, because as you just mentioned, I mean, yes, the reality, speed bumps of your car breaks down or you need a new roof, but it's more than just that. I recently recognized that we have one of our too many streaming services. I mean, it would have been cheaper just to keep cable to all the streaming. One of them, honestly, Jackie, I thought I was paying $8.99 a month. I forgot which one it was, Netflix or Hulu or one of them. And then I got the email that said, hey, here's your bill for this month, $19.99 this month. And I was like, wait, hold on. That's $10 more a month than I thought I was paying. A lifestyle creep that I wasn't prepared for. And that's just one of the 500 stupid streaming services that we have.
Oh my goodness. If you want to find some money, there's that whole site. I know that every state has it. Florida has one. It's a treasury for lost money, right? If somebody didn't get a refund check, or maybe some life insurance that didn't have beneficiary on it or something, that all comes to the state of Florida for lost monies. I forget the exact site, but we'll make sure and add that in the comments here. But that's one way. But I'll tell you what I did, because, I'm a little bit of a nerd. So, typically every month, I'm looking through my, my charges, that are recurring from great Apple Pay, right? So easy to do things. And I actually audited the first 6 months of this year. Yeah, almost $1,000 in nuisance charges for things exactly like that. A streaming that I signed up for that I didn't even know I had, or hey, sign up for a trial, and the next thing you know, you've been on it for 3 months, or they've got that annual recurring, and those kind of slip in, and people aren't paying attention. I had one for a little $9 a month, $9.99, that I haven't used that. It broke like a year and a half ago, and I've been paying for it. So it really does pay to pay attention to those renewals. And I was really shocked to see what I had on my own. It takes a little bit of time to get those things corrected, but so important, because it's not just a one time, it's the recurring, it's the compounding. And that is where the magic happens when you're saving and when you're spending.
Yeah, I've had that gym membership that I've been paying for about 10 years. Don't go enough. But listen, that's beside the point, right? Because you just sign up for the gym membership, you're going to lose weight. Isn't that how that happens?
No.
Not yet. Okay.
You have to do something. You have to actually physically go there.
Florida Treasure Hunt, fltreasurehunt.gov.
That's it.
It's Florida's unclaimed property, fltreasurehunt.gov. And you've said that you've talked to people who've had some success finding some unclaimed property there.
Oh, absolutely. I found some. Scott found some. It's amazing. You never know when a life insurance policy that someone had, the insurance agent didn't do their job to make sure that there was a beneficiary on there. And, it just happens. Things get lost, things get misplaced. People aren't aware of it. Your loved ones aren't even aware of what you even have. And I think, honestly, Mark, I think as we get older, we forget what we even have. So again, wonderful opportunity while it's so hot outside to go through all your things and get them organized. Because if somebody had to come in and step in for you in your financial life tomorrow, would they have a clue where to start? Would they know what all you have? And, I've heard all kinds of stories through the past 3.5 decades of, where somebody had $100 bill, taped or stuck. Would anybody have any direction? And I know, you don't want to tell everybody all your secrets, but at least have a treasure map somewhere to, otherwise it's going to end up in that the lost fund someday.
Yep. fltreasurehunt.gov. And if you missed any of this, we invite you to stream the Beyond the Money podcast. You can hear this conversation. Plus, archive of shows from Beyond the Money radio show, specialty shows, celebrity interviews, and so much more. It's the Beyond the Money podcast. You can stream it from the homepage at mycampbellandco.com, or you can find it streaming across all podcast platforms. You just mentioned it. What if someone needs to step in the event that something happens to you? That is something that you offer at Campbell Company. It's the My Win file. Tell me about that.
Yep, it's for when the time happens, WHEN. And it's an organization book. And I have just seen what clients have done. They bring in, I mean, I hear it called, this is my When I Die book. This is the black book. This is what you need to know, and my card's in there. They show me the attorney. It's so cool to see what people do and, kind of what they've gathered through their experiences in life, because that's where this came from. My Win File was from my own experience, not only observing clients through the years, but, when my dad was sick, just watching and being there thinking, okay, I've got to be the responsible one, from the financial point of view. But my mom was on it. She knew where everything was. Anytime the medical team or the doctors asked for anything, or if there was an insurance that my dad needed, hospitalization insurance, cancer policy, whatever it was, my mom knew exactly where it was. And I just watched that unfold thinking, if that had been the other way around, my dad would have had no clue. And no disrespect to him at all, but she was the CFO of the family. She filed everything. I learned from that, and I kind of pulled together a document storage system, an operating system, and just knowing that is a missing piece for many, because they don't know how, or maybe they've not had any of those, really difficult experiences trying to clean up and figure out where things are. And, you have to sort through every single thing and piece of paper in someone else's household that you love and care about so much. And, that kind of ties back into the story that I had earlier where, a friend of mine had said, I just can't even open the envelopes anymore. It's just so overwhelming for me. And it's because you're having to go through every single thing of someone's entire life. So, we all collect more things and don't let go of things. And we think we might need it one day, or one day we will get to it and we don't. What a great way. What a beautiful gift to leave for a legacy to those that you love and care about the most. And I have, some of our clients, through the years, they've actually taken the My Win File, and they have annual family meetings, just like a corporation would, so that they know, like, hey, here's the book, and here's where we're going to have it locked up. And Jackie Campbell is still the contact for who you need to call for when the time comes. And it's just such a blessing to be able to kind of pay that forward, the lessons that I learned from my mother, my own experience with my dad, and kind of watching all that unfold, and then all my clients that have given me so much wisdom that they have learned the hard way through all these years.
You were telling me a couple of years ago about how honored you were that you had a client and the husband had passed away, and the wife had told you that, after calling the family and the friends, that you were like the number 3 call on that list because of that file, because of the My Win File. And as hard of a moment as that was, I'm sure, for the family, for her also, but for you to get that call. But it also, for you, Jackie, it had to feel pretty good to make you kind of feel like part of their family.
Absolutely. And when you work with Campbell Company, I mean, we're all family. Everybody that works there, even the interns, they become part of our family. We feel like they're our next children that we're raising here at Campbell Company, and our clients. And then we learn, we meet their children when they come in from, another country or out of town. And, when they go through the really good things, we hear about it, the births and the graduations and the weddings. And then, when there's the sad times too, so it's just such a blessing to be able to kind of be there for someone and be able to help pull those right brain part of the process, whatever's going on together for them when they're going through those challenging times.
It's part of the 360-degree retirement roadmap. It's an all-encompassing conversation with Jackie Campbell and the team at Campbell Company. That initial conversation, just an opportunity to get to know each other. It's no cost, no obligation to you. So if Jackie's talking to you this weekend, as we talk about your legacy, talk about building a win file, we've been talking about cash flow, that lifestyle creep. If anything makes you go, I could use some help with that, reach out to the team. All it's going to cost you is the time it takes to make the phone call. 352-251-1015. Again, 352-251-1015, or always online at mycampbellandco.com.
Now, the Beyond the Money tip of the day.
Risk management. That is something that most people don't like to talk about, but insurance. It's a great time to review your insurance before the hurricane season gets here, before any things that are happening that are beyond your control. Just to double check with your insurance agent, making sure that you've got the right coverage, whether it's for your home, your auto, your car, maybe a personal umbrella policy. That's something that I see that many insurance agents these days are not advising their clients on. So if any of those things have any question for you, and then of course you've got the Medicare supplement coming up. We've got open enrollment coming up later on in this year. Any of those things that you need some help and guidance, give us a call. We'd love the opportunity to help you to make sure that you've got all that you've worked so hard for and save for kind of protected. So 352-251-1015 or online at mycampbellandco.com.
Well, Jackie Campbell, we're having a great conversation this weekend about the importance of that mid-year review. And we know we're in the dog days of summer right now and maybe finishing up that last vacation before the kids and grandkids head back to school or college. But the importance to at least begin these conversations, because there are some opportunities you can't take advantage of in November and December. So call the team at Campbell Company for that 360-degree retirement roadmap, that mid-year review. 352-251-1015. Jackie, as always, thank you. Thank you for the education and the information this weekend. We are back next weekend. But before we get out of here, let's get the final word.
You're right. You can't wait till November, December because there's way too many things going on. So my challenge to everyone listening is don't wait until the holidays to think about your finances or the next year. Schedule time now to step back, adjust anything that may need adjusting, work with a financial advisor. If you're looking for a second opinion or you don't have an advisor that's helping guide your entire one financial life, I would encourage you to give us a call, 352-251-1015, or you can go online and visit mycampbellandco.com. You only get one financial life. It's worth taking the time in this heat to review everything and make sure you have it coordinated. Again, this is Jackie Campbell, 352-251-1015, or online at mycampbellandco.com. And Jackie Campbell, certified financial planner and certified public accountant of Campbell Company, wealth advisors and CPAs. And join us again next time on Beyond the Money Radio and the Beyond the Money podcast.